Hello MennoNerds, here I am, and I'm coming to you from Amsterdam with Madame Tussauds and the palace and the main damn square over there. And no, I did not just curse. Can you believe it? That's a shopping mall behind me. Here I am outside of the single kirk congregation of the Mennonite Church here in Amsterdam, and we just finished getting done a fascinating tour of the history and the architecture of the congregation. One of the things that Marcel told us in our tour was about the troublemakers that were among the Anabaptist movement and made it difficult for other people to be able to do what they wanted to do with religious freedom. And so it made me think about troublemakers in general when it comes to religion, to Anabaptism, and to everything that we do as Christians. Listening to Marcel tell the history of the Mennonite Church in Amsterdam and generally in the Netherlands from a Dutch standpoint was very intriguing. Learning some things about my own denomination that I didn't know before, and specifically a particular branch of it that is in the middle of this northern country of the European Union. It makes me reflect on some of the things that we're doing as a denomination in the United States, in the Western world, as well as thinking back to that ancient time of the 1500s and 1600s and how Anabaptists and Mennonites interacted with the world around them at that time, and how those interactions influenced the special, the different ways that we do things and the different emphases we have as a denomination right now. If we don't know our history, if we don't know what went on in the past, many times the things, the traditions and the values and principles we hold dear now don't have as much meaning to us. I mentioned in the little brief vignette that I had in that one video that thinking about the troublemakers of the past. One thing that I meant that was mentioned is the naked Anabaptists. Now, this is not the book by Stuart Murray, but actual naked people running through downtown Amsterdam. And no, not the red light district. This is back in the 1500s. Very interesting story there. You might want to take a look at it, look it up sometime. Also, the other Anabaptists that ran up and down the streets in the middle of Amsterdam waving swords in the air, declaring the kingdom of God was at hand, and that people should rise up and establish it. Munster wasn't the only place those kinds of things happened. For example, May 10th, there was an event on May 10th in, again, the 1600s and 1500s, where a bunch of Anabaptists stormed the palace in Amsterdam to try to kick out the government there and establish the kingdom of God here on earth. And that makes me wonder sometimes, being troublemakers. Troublemaker is something that we have been as Anabaptists in the past, and we still exercise that in many ways today. And there is a point where being a troublemaker is important, where we actually go against the flow of society, where we are labeled troublemakers by the people outside of us because of the things that we say and the things that we do, the different values and principles we have that go against the common nature of society. But then there's the being called a troublemaker where you're really making trouble, and not in the good way, where you are hurting people, where you are being trouble in a way that is violent and distasteful to even the people who are not Christians, who are not good, peaceful followers of God. If you're that kind of troublemaker, are you really being part of the kingdom of God? This is a wrestling point, I know, because there are several people in my circles that ask the question about when it is time to kick over the tables and kick the people out of the temple. And I will say that, yes, there is times to be firm and direct and make statements that are important and meaningful. But at the same time, when our troublemaking doesn't look like Christ, then maybe that's not the troublemaking we should be doing. Maybe we're more on the lines of those naked ones, or the sword-bearing ones, or the Munsterites, than we are actually followers of Jesus. And that's what I think we have to question. With our history of our church, when is it right to be a troublemaker? And when is being troublemaker not the way to go? Good questions to think about, and I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts. Thank you.